Alyssa hurried to the door of her classroom, having recognised the head's discomfort, and keen to stop Lucy's father from accosting him about his rather detrimental observation. She finally found herself confronted by a man who seemed to tower above her, his measured gaze eloquently informing her he had indeed heard William's words. "Mr. Hanson?" she asked brightly, refusing to be intimidated by his stature. She might be a rookie in the teaching profession, and young in comparison to this rather imposing man. She judged him to be mid-30s, to her tender 25, but there was stubbornness inherent in her character that refused to let him get the upper hand. He inclined his head, but didn't speak, his features very set. But even without the semblance of a smile, she found herself forced to acknowledge they were strong and rather attractive features, arranged evenly on his face, and the chestnut hair framing it was cut in a style that, in her opinion anyway, really suited him, waving smoothly back from his forehead. A few tendrils had escaped, however, to hang just above the straight brows, enhancing rather than detracting from his looks. "Shall we go and sit down?" she suggested hastily, suddenly feeling strangely uneasy, and therefore eager to escape from such a close proximity to the man. Her desk would provide at least some sort of a barrier between them. He followed her without comment, and obediently folded his tall frame into the chair she indicated, stretching long legs out before him. Then, without preamble, not even an apology for being late, Alyssa noticed, he launched into speech. "So do you share Mr. Partridge's rather disparaging opinion of my daughter? I imagine you said something to motivate his remark." His eyes were hazel in colour, she noticed, but far from emanating the calm gaze she usually associated with people possessing eyes of that hue, they were definitely stormy. He had, however, managed to control the tone of his voice, which contained a deep timbre along with a cultured accent. "Actually, I didn't," Alyssa informed him coolly, "but that doesn't mean to say I don't agree with him. If you want the truth, Lucy can be both difficult and disruptive in class, and because her devil-may-care personality has already given her a following, she leads other pupils astray on a fairly regular basis. On the positive side—" He didn't allow her to finish. "I can see you have already formed a very prejudiced opinion of her, and are not taking into account the extremely traumatic time she has recently experienced. I had hoped a normal state school close to home would be the best environment for Lucy, but now I am wondering whether to move her to a private one." His voice now sounded rather hard and uncompromising. Alyssa could only stare at him with some degree of shock. "What trauma?" His eyes narrowed. "Do you mean to say that obviously incompetent twit of a headmaster failed to tell you Lucy lost her mother less than a month before starting at this school in September, that she has been uprooted from everything familiar to her, friends, home, even country, and planted in a totally foreign environment? It's not like the child even knows me very well, as my wife and I were separated. Small wonder if she is difficult, don't you agree?" For a moment Alyssa stayed silent, desperately trying to assimilate the information she had just been given, for it was, indeed, news to her. It gave him opportune time to study her. Young enough to be inexperienced, pretty enough to be dangerously disarming, and petite enough to make a man feel protective. But he had been burned once, and therefore learned his lesson. No woman was going to get under his skin again. "Mr. Hanson," she began rather tentatively, a little unnerved by his revelation and uncertain how to handle it without dropping the endearing headmaster into the soup. "You didn't know," he concluded. "Please don't bother to deny it. Your features are clearly expressing your surprise. I will be having a word with William Partridge before I leave." "Mr. Hanson," Alyssa tried again, eager to try to defend the head, but she was once more interrupted. "Mark will suffice. I can't stand ceremony, and please don't try to invent excuses for the man. None will suffice." How did he know that was what she was intending to do? But she was in no mood to obey him.
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.